Kevin De Bruyne, no doubt one of the most talented players of his generation, and at times over the last couple of seasons, the best midfielder in the world. The quality he commands with the ball at his feet, his vision, his ability to pick a pass, to strike from distance, he's an incredible player that improves every side he steps into. But with his national team, despite the quality he boasts, he hasn't been able to lift them to the levels that not just the nation expects, but De Bruyne expects of himself. There were awkward moments at Euro 2024, but De Bruyne ultimately came out of that tournament saying that he wasn't considering retiring from the Belgian national team at that time. Skip ahead a couple of months, and after yet another loss to France, De Bruyne seems to be strongly considering dropping the national team. He may yet have decided as much, but guys, without a confirmation from De Bruyne, without him saying it himself,
let me talk!
It's good to keep in mind that this is all speculation, okay? I'm sounding the speculation alarm here, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not claiming to have insider info or anything like that, or to present this as fact. No, I'm just putting the pieces together in a timeline and drawing some natural conclusions based on his age, the comments he's made about the national team, match congestion, as well as the frustration he's shown recently.
History will record that the prime years of Belgium's golden generation did not result in the acquisition of any silverware.
Now, any serious watcher of football knows that Belgium's golden generation hasn't really been a thing in a realistic sense for the past two major tournaments, Euro 2024 and the 2022 World Cup. Yes, there were representatives from the golden generation, some of them very much advanced in age, shout out Vercauteren, but there's no way you could still look at this set of Belgium internationals as the golden generation. The best that they managed to achieve was a third place finish at the 2018 World Cup.
It's their best ever performance at the tournament.
Nothing to sneeze at, right? Or cough. However, that doesn't mean that the constant scrutiny and expectation of Belgium went away. There are some supporters that still believe that it was almost the duty of players like Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, etc. to ensure that Belgium win a trophy in international football. More frustration after Euro 2024. You can understand why they would think that, especially if they drink the Kool-Aid of the FIFA rankings, which had Belgium at the top for so long for God knows what reason. The algorithm is completely lost on me. I don't understand it. Kind of like YouTube. And while the expectation for the golden generation to win anything post 2018 was a bit silly, for some Belgium supporters, it went from being an expectation to a debt. As if the talent pool that Belgium had, coupled with these elite golden generation players, had owed them a trophy after failing to bring them one when they are in their prime, after blowing it back then. This kind of pressure and scrutiny on the team manifested itself following Belgium's draw with Ukraine. I get it, the supporters were upset with Belgium choosing to hold the ball in the corner for the draw rather than try to actually defeat Ukraine, who had some decent opportunities to win the match themselves. That would be difficult to watch as a supporter, right? The optics of this Belgian side that is considered to be so talented, and they are talented, don't get me wrong, but to see them time wasting and happy, seemingly happy with a draw with Ukraine, that set the supporters off. It set them off so much so that they began whistling and booing the Belgian players, amongst other gestures. The dreaded middle finger, the naughty finger, the swear finger. De Bruyne took exception to that, grabbed the rest of the squad, and prevented them from going to clap and thank the supporters for their support. He didn't want to go and thank them while they flipped him off, you know? When he was asked if they would do it again if they were met with similar actions from the Belgian supporters, De Bruyne said, "Hell yeah." No, he didn't say that. He said, "Yes, I'd do it again. That's my honest opinion. I've seen things that I can't agree with, so I've reacted. Some people might think I was wrong. Other people might agree with me. That's okay. You can't do right by everyone. I've thought about the group. I have no problem with criticism. We can deal with it. It could also be better. But those middle finger gestures were not acceptable. If I do that on the street, it is not appreciated either." So De Bruyne and the fans, or I should say some fans, had a bit of an icy end to Euro 2024, though they did indeed clap for each other after getting dumped from the tournament by France. We didn't see any scenes that resembled this, though that would have been absolutely incredible. Just in general, there seems to be some weird vibes in the Belgium camp. Thibaut Courtois, for one, has had a couple of run-ins with Domenico Tedesco, the coach, which apparently came as a result of Courtois being angry that Tedesco didn't name him as captain when De Bruyne was injured in 2023. It got to the point where Courtois could have played Euro 2024, but he decided against it. Was that because he was coming off of an ACL injury? Somewhat, yes, but evidently no, as Courtois announced toward the end of August 2024 on Twitter, yes, it's still Twitter to me, that he would not play for Belgium again so long as Domenico Tedesco was in charge. Courtois wrote, "Unfortunately, following the events with the coach and after much reflection, I have decided not to return to the Belgian national team under his management. In this matter, I accept my share of responsibility. However, looking forward, my lack of confidence in him would not contribute to maintaining the necessary atmosphere of cordiality. The Federation, with whom I have had several discussions, accepts my position and the reasons that led me to this painful but coherent decision. I regret possibly disappointing some fans, but I am convinced that this is the best course of action for Belgium as it closes a debate and allows the team to focus on pursuing its goals." People fall on both sides of this clash. Some say Courtois has turned his back on his country and should get over it. Others say that given his age, it makes sense for him to step aside anyway. To me, that's kind of ignoring the fact that he's still one of the best keepers in the world. But then there's others that say, hey, at least he stepped down with class with how he wrote that. No harm done. Then, after smashing Israel 3-1, Belgium next had France to take on in their UEFA Nations League Group 2 match. France got smacked by Italy in the days before this match. Did you see that opener from Italy? Has Spalletti ball finally arrived at the national level? Oh, beautiful. Anyway, France did indeed bounce back against Belgium, and they defeated Belgium quite easily, 2-0. Honestly, this was a continuation of some of the worst aspects of Belgium that we saw at Euro 2024. A lack of urgency in their attack, a complete lack of determination and effort all over the pitch, with or without the ball. We saw Onana casually walking back while France would go on to score. All of those things aside, France is a team that is beatable in this moment. Deschamps' ball is there for the taking as it's far too reactive. You know exactly how France will play every single time. They will sit back and try to hit you on the counter instead of trying to dictate play. They will rely on individual quality. Tedesco and Belgium have had 2 matches against France in quick succession now, and they failed twice. Now, someone who took exception to this was Kevin De Bruyne, who was seen after the match saying "Ik stop" repeatedly to Frank Vercauteren, the sports director of the Royal Belgian Football Association. "Ik stop" means I quit, of course, and De Bruyne said it over and over and over to Vercauteren, who tried to calm him down or convince him otherwise. We're so used to players covering their mouths to speak, so it's surprising that De Bruyne didn't even take that precaution, didn't really care. And it gets worse. From saying that he quit, De Bruyne went to do a flash interview and the man was hot. He said that Belgium need to be better in every way, and he revealed that he spoke his mind at halftime with his teammates, saying, quote, "I cannot repeat that in the media, but it has to be better in every way. If the standard we want to reach is the best, but we're no longer good enough to get to that level, then you have to give everything. If you don't even do that, it's over. I can accept that we're not as good as in 2018 when we reached the World Cup semifinals. I was the first to see that, but other things are unacceptable. I'm not going to say what." Now to this, Tedesco and Koen Castile said things along the lines of, yeah, he was angry, but you know, he's a winner, so it's understandable, and he was speaking emotionally, that kind of thing. Speculation alert here. Ring the bell. But when you look at recent events, the pressure and the disrespect from the supporters, failing results, and now this frustration against France, it wouldn't surprise me at all if De Bruyne doesn't really find joy in representing Belgium at the moment. Still pride, no joy. It's a far cry from the team that peaked around 2018, and it seems like his time with the national team just leaves him with more frustration than anything else these days. And then you think to yourself, all of this frustration and effort putting his body on the line for Nations League matches?
So it takes its all, I think, especially mentally, because I think like everybody, you need a break just to switch off about everything. And I think your body needs to heal in a certain way. But nobody listens to players anyway. It's the way it goes, and we'll take it on the chin. But I can see a lot of injuries coming in general for everybody.
So I made a video recently about how the incoming Club World Cup seems completely disorganized, for one thing, as well as how it will be disastrous for player welfare also. In that video, I used the clip that you just saw, which was from 2020, 4 years ago. And now there are even more matches to contend with. And this came up in a recent Belgium press conference where De Bruyne spoke of how UEFA and FIFA don't care about the players, saying, quote, "The real problem will emerge after the Club World Cup. We know there will only be 3 weeks between the Club World Cup final and the first Premier League match. So we have 3 weeks to rest and prepare for another 80 matches. Maybe this year things will be okay, but next year could be problematic. The Professional Footballers Association in England and other player associations have tried to find solutions. The issue is that UEFA and FIFA keep adding extra matches, and we can raise concerns, but no solutions have been found. It seems that money speaks louder than the players' voices." De Bruyne is still an incredible player. He's still a match winner, a difference maker, and now he's finally being allowed to talk.
Let me talk!
Sorry, but anyway, he's right about all of this. And given he's 33 years old now, you have to wonder if he thinks that international football is still worth it for him, especially these Nations League matches that hold very little importance in comparison to the World Cup and European Championships. And guess what? With the format change in the Nations League, now there are even more matches within the competition. That's right, playoffs and everything. When you look at that, then consider the added matches at the club level in the Champions League, 8 matches in the league phase, an extra knockout round that comes before the round of 16, and now a Club World Cup as well next summer. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if all of this frustration from the Belgian national team, coupled with the pointlessness of the Nations League's fixtures, could be pushing him out the national team door. I mean, just look at this graphic. All of these players picked up a knock or illness while on international duty. And things will only get worse, as De Bruyne said. He's in the twilight of his career. He needs to be discerning with where he puts his efforts, and perhaps it's time to close the book on his national team duties. That's my opinion, at least. It no doubt brings him pride, but if it's not bringing joy and it's potentially tacking injuries onto his season, then maybe there's no point in it anymore. But it's another reminder of these top players from this generation moving on in age. No, I'll hate the day when I won't get to see De Bruyne play anymore. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope I will see you in another video. If you want to make sure of that, go ahead and subscribe. My name's Adrian. Take care.